first for coming in last. Went to the bank, happy alive. Nigga fuck love, rather by rap. Nigga fuck love, rather by rap.
All right. Episode 20 fucking 6 of Woodcrest Certified. Let's fucking get it. Thank you all for joining us here again. As always, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you know when we go live with new episodes on the good old YouTube. So kind of a hot topic from over the week. This transgender swimmer guy. You know, this dude went from like 500th in men's swimming to
427.
yeah, so almost whatever. Who fucking cares? Regardless, stupid fucking far back on the rankings to number 1 now because he decided to become a woman and like compete and shit. And that has the internet on a crazy, discourse right now. Like I saw the post, and for the most part, there's a lot of people being like, yo, this is crazy, this is bullshit. But then there's also people that are like, no, you should just mind your business. Like, if someone wants to be their true self, they're allowed to be their true self, which is true. They can, right? But then like, it's just in these situations when a man decides to become a woman and compete in sports, it's just severely lopsided. So it's kind of fucking wild. But what do you guys think?
We've had this debate before, and I'm not gonna name no names.
I lost, bro. I lost. It was me.
Like, yeah, like it's just physiology.
Yeah.
Creates a ridiculous disadvantage for women. And I'm totally about like, you be whoever you want to be, but it can't disenfranchise another person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I feel like people take advantage of that shit too, though. Like I watched like a mini documentary like on YouTube about these girls that ran track in some fucking high school in West Bumblefuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were fast as fuck for women, right? So they was finishing in the district top 1, 2, and 3 at one point. Like these girls are the same high school, and then it was somebody at the school that decided, to identify as a woman. So she ran track also. And let's just say for the 100-meter, the record for a girl was like 13 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was getting in there and blowing that shit by like 4-5 seconds. So the scholarships that would have went to these girls originally, like 40,000 to go to school, 30,000, so on and so forth. Some people was getting full rides. So some of these scholarships could equal 200,000 plus, depending on the schools they was going to.
Yeah.
They basically couldn't qualify for these scholarships anymore, but that was the only way they was able to go to college because when I tell you in West Bumblefuck, they don't have money. So the same way a lot of these kids in the hood is using college as ways to set their generation up. That's what these girls was doing through track, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now they didn't have access to these scholarships anymore because this woman that was born a man, physically way stronger, fast twitch muscles, is way more developed than them, is taking off. So now to compete with these scholarships, instead of doing it 13 seconds, you got to do it 9 seconds, which is almost impossible for these girls.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
So they moved the fucking bar?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking OD, bro.
But the bar is going to be moved because now you're getting women that's way faster than the other women.
Yeah.
Right? So how is the bar not being moved? Let's just say weightlifting competitions. I could put up 315, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a power lifter that's only doing 185. And now I'm a woman power lifter doing 315. You think they're gonna compete?
No.
Nah, and that happened. That happened in the Olympics.
Yeah,
that happened. Yeah.
Like this past year?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like it was a transgender power lifter and she fucking killed it. Like, obviously.
That shit's so
and
deep.
I think it was David when I was trying to mention that shit, and he was like, "No," and I'm like, "It don't make sense, bro." Like Ronda Rousey was a beast at the height of career, right?
Mm.
But I'm pretty sure the sorriest dude in MMA is gonna beat the brakes off of Ronda Rousey.
It's just like we're just developed. We like structurally we're just like that's what it is.
So how does that even? And my homeboy said something in the army because he liked to be very controversial on Facebook. But what he said, I agree. If it's going to be that, why not make a specific section? Like we could still
David
do
said that
weightlifting.
shit.
Yeah, like why is they allowing that shit to be integrated? It's a reason why they made it male and women's sports to begin with.
I remember David saying that in the group chat, and we kind of like nixed that.
I mean, that would be the ideal situation where we have another category for trans athletes, but I just don't think there's enough of them. I feel like a lot they're gonna win by default because there's nobody to compete with them, you know?
Yeah. That's how I feel about it too.
It's always gonna have to be the top three normally: gold, silver, and bronze. So if it's 4 motherfuckers competing, there's gonna be 3 of y'all that's gonna get a medal. Like until there's more, who gives a fuck? But I mean, it has to be
unless there's only 2 competing, you know, like that's kind of problematic.
Then somebody gonna get gold/silver and somebody gonna get bronze. And so be it, cause that shit, that's not fair though. Like fuck.
I mean, I don't think it's insane to think that you just kind of forfeit your right to be able to do that, to compete in sports with women when you weren't born a woman.
Like, which is true. I agree with that too.
Yeah. Like you know the hurdles. Sorry, go ahead.
There got to be some middle ground somewhere. It's just something we're gonna have to think through. I mean, I'm sure like this is becoming more and more normal as a society. Like, you know, you identify something that you weren't born as. Like everybody's like, all right, cool, do your thing. And eventually I think we're gonna move towards where they can have their own thing. You know what I mean? But for now, it kind of just is what it is, you know?
And I feel like, you know, it's gonna be the problem too, because everybody in this society needs to be a victim for whatever reason. But I feel like certain people is gonna go towards the rock, because you remember for baseball they had the National Negro League, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't want Black people within normal sports. I feel like if we do that, it's gonna be one of those things. Like, so we can't be integrated into normal sports because we identify different. And it's like, no, nigga, because you was a male that turned to a female, and you said we can't strip your muscles away. Like, you know, we can't strip your testosterone away to a certain extent.
Yeah, you honestly probably right. Like, they're a pretty strong community, and I mean, what's wrong with like defending a community that's been victimized for so long is that like a lot of these things kind of just get generalized. And when you put a person in a position, like a person who's been historically victimized in any disadvantageous position, we automatically assume they're getting victimized because of what's going on, right? So like if Asian people were going through it during the pandemic, right? Like they're getting beat up in the streets or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like every time an Asian person, you know, if they got to wait longer on their order at Burger King, all of a sudden it's because they're an Asian person. You know what I mean? That's kind of just how things work, unfortunately, where like we have a legitimate problem, but then all these assholes tack onto it. You know what I mean? Like,
anything on your end, David? Any comments on it or thoughts on it?
Nah, he got to speak on that shit. Fuck that.
Yeah. So initially, my train of thought was, you know, fuck it, like just let them play. But yeah, no, I think that after seeing it, because I honestly didn't think it would happen this quickly. At least not in the sport. Well, I mean that weightlifting shit too, because I did hear word of that, and obviously a dude is me as a chubby weak guy, like I could probably lift more than most women. I mean, maybe not women to train for this shit, but that's just because they're strong as fuck. But yeah, but no, actually, Pete, you bring up a great point because I did think to like just give them their own league too. But then when you brought up that comparison that to segregation, essentially, like that is a good point that it may be viewed that way. That is not a point of view that I looked at it from. But yeah, no, I was wrong, man.
I mean, is there wheels on that though? Like, do you think that that's something that could be in that same classification? Like, if you have their own league where it's viewed as segregation? Because I mean, it's the same thing now though with like men and women's sports, right? Like, there's two different.
The thing is that women and men who transition to the other gender view themselves as the other gender. So I can see what Peter's saying, where they'll feel like, yo, like you're segregating me. But at the same time, it's kind of just like, yeah, but you got a legitimate competitive advantage. You know what I mean?
But you know what's so crazy, right? Let's say a woman transition to a man. She's a monster and could compete with men. We're not gonna say nothing, right? We're gonna be like, you know, he doing his thing at this point. But a man that transitions to a woman is automatically deemed a monster and compete with women. He gonna take off and gonna be like, what the fuck? You are, you know, like you beasting. Like you taking away from the woman that really been doing this shit their whole lives.
I mean, but Pete, like how often is that gonna happen though? You know, like, I mean, let's say in the reverse of the Olympics, right? A chick decided to become a man and she's trying to compete with these men in the Olympics in weightlifting. Like, I'm not saying it's not possible, bro, but the odds of that are.
I'm gonna say it's not possible.
No, but let me use an example because the Olympics wise, that's like the top elite athletes that you can't even use that. But it was somebody I was in the army with that transition, and Chris know the PT test in the military. Man and woman standards is completely different, right? So when she transitioned to a man, she was destroying the man's PT test, like push-ups, sit-ups, the 2-mile run, like beasting. So nobody ain't saying nothing. That's cool. Like you able to, you know, be up there with the dudes. Like she was running like he was running a 13, 14, 2-mile, doing 105 push-ups in 2 minutes and like 90 something sit-ups in 2 minutes. Nobody ain't give a fuck. You able to keep up with the dude. And he was actually doing better than most of these fat body dudes that was in the army. Because some of these dudes was barely hitting 42 push-ups, and I think that was the minimum. And doing like 16-minute 2-mile, and that's trash. Like that's 8-minute miles. Like what the fuck? You could walk that shit, bitch. Like what you got going on? You know what I'm saying? Like so at that point, and God rest the dead, something crazy happened. Not here with us no more, but beasting. So everybody was like, man, cool. Like you able to compete with what you identify as, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but then what happens if, you know, they make that transition so now he can't keep up with the standards that you have to in the military?
He was able to surpass the standard.
But I'm saying, what if, like, you know, now we're in the opposite side of things. Like, what happens if he wasn't able to?
And that's what I'm saying. That's where the catch-22 come at. Because then, like, now I'm a dude that transitioned to a woman, and now I got to go by the woman standards. I'm a beast that shit. Like, they giving me, because a 300 is a perfect score. I'm probably getting a 600 every time. Because I think the woman's 2-mile minimum was like 30 minutes or 28 minutes. I could do that shit with both legs fucking chopped off. Like, what a bad hit right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing that shit. Dog, walking, I'm doing a 21-minute 2-mile.
This fucking guy.
I swear to God, I'm doing 120 something push-ups in 2 minutes. They maximum was like 65. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit's fucking crazy. Like that's like they're gonna think I'm superhuman. No, I'm a man.
Do you think it would be wild if, you know, someone wanted to transition, but then they still had to compete in whatever their birth gender was.
No, it'll make more sense.
Yeah.
That's not wild, but you know, that person would feel a ways, you know, like they're, you know.
I mean, you can't. I mean, I just trying to think of like ways to, like you can't have it all, right? Like I just at some point.
Yeah, it's something. It's very new to our society because like people couldn't even come out, you know, 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Like there's just a lot of conversation and a lot of thinking we're gonna have to do. I am strongly adamant about not just like killing women's competition. Like I'm not gonna just throw you in a women's competition and make it completely unfair, but we gotta figure something out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the swimmer was a fucking scrub. Like you was garbage, my nigga. Like 427, nigga. I could place 427 and I just learned how to swim at 28. Like
It was 427 out of 427 head ass. Like,
like, bro, you was a fucking scrub, and then the audacity of you, that's what got me mad. And you standing up there with your first place little fuck ass ribbon thinking you doing something. Like
I have a question. Do you think the desire to transition was due to being placed 427?
I doubt
or was it like this is a person that was experiencing things or going through things and just transitioned, and I was like, well, I still like to swim.
I'll answer your question with another question. Like, do you think Caitlyn Jenner transitioned because of the publicity?
No, I mean she was, or Bruce Jenner was already well known and a public figure as is.
Yeah,
I mean she became when he became Caitlyn Jenner, like he blew the fuck up, right? Like nobody cared about Bruce Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner like became Woman of the Year.
Yeah. And that's
yo, that is
that's another thing that was stolen from, you know, like.
But like I can't say that. I mean, I don't know. It's the Kardashians. They're marketing personified.
Smart.
Yeah.
But I gotta believe that this came from something genuine. Like that's a pretty extreme thing to do. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna get canceled. Caitlyn Jenner ugly as shit. How you get woman to
Well, this has been fun. We're on episode 26. This is where it all goes down.
Nigga, like I don't think the Woman of the Year award is based off of looks, my nigga.
So what the fuck?
It doesn't contribute at all, though. Like
what the fuck she got it for?
Like Woman of the Year,
courage,
like
right?
Didn't like some physicist win Woman of the Year from like India? She wasn't like particularly beautiful.
So what the fuck she got it for? Like, I feel like that was a give me award. Stupid. Like
no, bro.
I'm in that ass, bro. Like I'm in that.
No, for real shit.
You're confusing it with the Miss Universe.
No, for real shit. For real shit though. Hitler won Man of the Year.
That's wild. That's fucking wild. I didn't know that. That's wild.
So did Stalin.
That I take it back then. Then they just giving this shit to anybody they feel necessary.
So like, yeah, that's the same reaction that I had when I found out. And what it turns out is just, it's basically the person who had like the biggest impact that year. Yeah, it's the time should have been canceled. The time should be canceled.
That's just wild.
I think they gave it to fucking Osama bin Laden too.
No shot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No shot. And they're an American company. No way, bro. Americans hate Osama bin Laden.
I mean, you just said they gave it to Stalin.
I mean, we put Osama bin Laden in power, my nigga.
They gave that bitch to Hitler. Fuck everybody else. Hitler is probably literally undebatable the greatest super villain in the human history.
Agreed. Yeah. That one aged very, very poorly, and for whatever reason.
Like, that's not an argument, right? Hitler probably is deemed like after the devil, Hitler is second. Easy.
Hitler is synonymous with evil. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what the fuck? I wouldn't even want that award then.
I think they gave it to him in 37 or 38, something like that.
Damn.
Sure.
Time magazine. You're right. They should be canceled. Why nobody posting them screenshots of that shit?
Yep. 1938. The magazine named the Nazi leader Man of the Year for 1938.
They're gonna be like, well, you know, it was just part of the time that we were in.
And then Rook fact checked the fuck out that shit.
Well, and just in case anyone's out there like, nah, there's no way. Like I just checked it. Like it's out there. So anyone that's listening, that's like, there's no fucking way. There's a fucking way. Like I just checked it.
That's not no sick
your
ass.
sources next.
That's not a sick ass shit.
That's fucking disgusting.
What helps is that the people who wrote that shit up are all dead. That's what helps.
I mean, no, I know what he's saying though. I know what he's saying because it was from that time frame. It's not like they gave him that award in 2022, like the Man of the Year in 19. What the fuck was Hitler? Like,
right. That's what helps. They could be just like, well, we fired that nigga, right? Like that's. I remember did he die?
You know what kills me about that shit? That had to be written, right? Then a whole bunch of people had to sit down and like, you know, discuss this shit.
And a group of people thought that this was a good idea.
And then they had to publish it.
Yes.
Somebody typed that shit into their keyboard and everybody was like, yeah, type that shit.
There's at least a writer, an editor, and a publisher involved.
Yeah.
At least.
And some type of meeting between the three of them.
Yeah, and there's like a final fucking boss that decides like, oh yeah, this is good. Yep. Hitler, Man of the Year.
Like,
all right,
this shit's about to
go
hit.
ahead. Let's run it. Come on.
Yes.
And not just that, like they didn't stop at Hitler. They gave it to Stalin too.
I'm sorry, who was that? I'm sorry. Stalin?
It's all good.
He basically was like a mini Hitler in a way. Like
in
Stalin's a dude from.
In totality, he was worse than Hitler. Like he killed a lot more people. It's just it took a longer period of time.
Yeah, that's true. So they're almost the same people. Really,
he was the leader of the Russian Communist Party, and he was sending people like anybody. Bad. Yeah, like he turned Russia into like some like a dictator state, and he would send people to these work camps in Siberia, which is basically like a death sentence. Like it was nuts. You should definitely read about it. He is fucking crazy. And then at the end, you know how he fucking died?
Oh.
So this guy was super fucking paranoid, and he started just offing people left and right. And then he basically sent his entire medical staff to Siberia to die because he didn't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And then he replaced them with another medical staff. He ended up having some sort of complication, and because everybody was scared to treat him, he ended up dying.
Chris laughed at the end. Like, he ended up dying.
It's crazy because, like, when you read about history, you're like, God damn, like this shit belongs in a movie. Like if there weren't sources, like nobody would believe me if I told them this. You know what I mean? Like,
in their defense,
it's quite the irony.
Yeah.
In their defense, niggas was really fucking stupid back then. So,
like Stalin was basically
dangerous
like
too,
who became a president. You know what I mean? Like that's what happened.
Wild. I actually forgot my train of thought. I was gonna say something. To kind of circle back on the question you asked, David, on if we think, you know, people will transition for sports. At least for me, I like to think not, you know, like I that would be a real shitty thing if like that's people's main motivation. But at the same time, if it comes out that this dude did it just to get a fucking medal, I wouldn't be surprised either, though, type of thing. But I like to think that that's not the case.
Yeah, me too. I'm in agreement with Rookie.
Not everything's absolute, and in this perfect world, you know, there's gonna be at least one. Always, like it has to be at least one. History shows us it's at least one, but for the most part, I don't believe so. So,
like that's a pretty, like I'm saying, that's a pretty extreme thing to do. Like to transform yourself into a woman to win a gold medal, like that nobody's even gonna like you for. You know,
but
they're not gonna validate it. You know, so it's like Katie's rings. You know,
the lady that fucking ran the NAACP wasn't even black.
It's a little deeper.
No, but wait, hold up. But like she actually believed in what she was doing, though. She wasn't doing it for publicity.
Of course, but the whole time when people found out, they was like, "What the fuck?"
That's crazy. Her and David were so
You've
crazy.
said that before. Dude, I'm not pretending to be something else. I'm just saying.
You're pretending to be. I'm saying that your views are probably aligned.
I mean, whatever. I'm open to having a discussion with anyone, regardless of their views. But we'll see. Yeah, if that were to ever occur, how far that discussion would go.
Bitch. All right. Last topic that's gonna take us home. We have been hinting on it for the last like maybe 2 episodes, and we just have never. We get so fucking sidetracked with everything that we just run out of time. But top 3 TV shows.
Why is it top 3?
Because that's what we had said originally, and then in the chat, y'all were like, dude. 5, and then we're like, why? And then I don't know.
All right, nigga, whatever.
just get your top 5, right?
And then just keep
2.
Yeah.
Is it that? Wait, time out. Is it that you can't come up with another 2?
No, I could. Just got to think about it.
So why are we doing the top 3?
Then do the fucking top 5, Chris. I don't care. Go ahead. List your top 5.
We're gonna do a top 5. Then.
Go ahead.
So you want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
Yeah.
So
we gotta think of our other 2.
So you're gonna let me say my top 5, David? All right, thank you. All right, so my number 1 is Cowboy Bebop. Fucking love that show.
No, whoa. We gotta scale it back. I'm sorry. We adding like animes to it too.
Is it not a TV show?
It is, but I wasn't thinking of that, so now I gotta rework. Like,
Nigga, you got time, bro. We'll let Rookie and David hop in front of you. Like their lists are probably gonna be whack anyway. They only got 3.
I only have.
He said they only got 3.
So after that,
wait, David only has 3. He just roasted me for saying 3, and you told me to do 5.
3
that was
they only
Chris.
Shows, bro. Like the fuck? Why are we doing a top 3? This shit makes no sense. Anyways, like we do top 3 basketball players. Like we never do that shit. We do top 5.
All right, bro. Just go ahead.
Whatever.
All right. Talk your shit.
Anyways, my number 2 got to be The Wire. The Wire is fucking crazy. That's my number 2. My number 3, I'll probably go with The Sopranos.
I knew you was gonna say that too.
The Sopranos is my number 3. Like I just have an affinity for that mobster shit, bro. Like I love that mobster shit. Like if I name my top 5 movies, 3 of them are mobster movies. After that, what?
Now you have a type.
Somebody tell me.
I don't know. He a menace. Like he a menace.
You're mad that I got a TV show. You're mad that I got 4 TV shows.
No. I'm a child. I was being immature.
I know you're a child. Anyways, Game of Thrones is definitely my top 5. I don't know if it's 4 or 5.
That's 4. You said Bebop, Wire, Sopranos,
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you missed
Game of
one.
Thrones.
And I'm stuck between I'm gonna say Band of Brothers for my number 5. No, The Office. I gotta go with The Office.
That's in my list.
Yeah, I gotta go with The Office, nigga. Like I love Band of Brothers. I feel like I've turned the corner on Breaking Bad, bro. Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's my list.
Yeah.
I watched like the first 3 episodes and I was just like, so I had to bump it off.
Can we do? I don't know. Breaking Bad in totality, I think is so fucking amazing, bro.
Like I said, when I first watched it, like I thought I was fucking shocked. I loved it. But then I watched the first 3 episodes again just recently, like maybe like a month ago, and I was just like, eh. So
you're gonna completely knock it off because of the first 3 episodes?
I mean, yeah, basically. Basically, yeah.
I'm saying like there's and how many seasons isn't there, like 5 seasons, 6 seasons, and because it's 3 episodes
it
you're
does
knocking
start
it out?
slow.
I mean, I am comparing it to like other all-time shows, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
when we're comparing, like when it comes to music, when you're comparing like these all-time albums, or same thing with movies, with these all-time movies, like you're really just it's razor thin margins that separate them. You know what I mean? Like they're all 10 out of 10s. You know what I mean?
But if I know what you're talking about, because then if one album, let's just say you comparing Kendrick, Good Kid, Mad City versus the Game, album. If the Game has like one song that's like meh, you have to knock it below Kendrick's.
Like my favorite album from Jay-Z, and one of my favorite albums of all time, is Reasonable Doubt, his first album. But he has this one song with Foxy Brown, and I'm telling you,
Yeah.
It's called Ain't No Nigga, and that song is terrible. But the rest of the album is crazy. Like every other song is a 12 out of 10. But because of that one song, it drops the album like 20 spots because there's so many great albums. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta drop it. You feel me?
All right. David, you want to go next?
No, I don't actually.
What a pussy.
Take the floor. I'm gonna give it to the moderator, man. What you mean, dog?
All right.
Courteous.
It's really funny because as soon as Chris said that our lists are probably gonna be terrible, I'm ready to get roasted. So just go ahead. I'm already ready. Let's go. So for my number 1, I put only the first season of Prison Break.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah,
What? Wait, the best TV show you've ever seen is one season.
Bro, the first season of Prison Break, like that shit is so like fucking stressful, and like there's just so much going on, and I just can't overlook how fucking exciting, and like I binge watched the fuck out of that first season because it was just so much suspense and drama and fucking excitement. Like it was insane.
That shit is crazy. Like, this is the same nigga who I posted a 10-minute video onto the chat. He's like, I don't have the attention span to watch this.
Yeah.
This is the same nigga who's dedicating his entire afternoon to watching Prison Break.
I mean, nah, I did it in college,
It was a really good show, dude. Have you ever seen it?
I mean, what fucks me up, right? Because Game of Thrones, I say like the first couple of seasons fire, so I could agree. But this nigga said one season. That's the only thing.
Bro, because after that,
that's what killed me too.
Yeah.
Bro, because the next 2 seasons, he's breaking out of prisons again. It's like, dog, like, what the fuck are you doing? How do you find yourself in these predicaments again? And then it's just like,
that's a knock against.
He's a criminal.
I understand that. That's why I said season 1.
But season 2 and season 3 exist. How can you just like pretend like they don't exist?
Yeah, this is only number 1, bro. What else do you have?
We're not comparing the best seasons. We're comparing the best shows.
I understand that, but it is fucking
No,
top
you
tier.
don't.
It's top tier, Chris.
He said, "No, you don't." That nigga mad. He said, "Fuck that."
I know.
He played by his own rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to see the other 4 though, like, cause that nigga fucked me up already. Like,
yeah, that's a tough start, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
number 2.
Is this in order?
Maybe.
He said that's number 1.
Oh my god! All right, nigga, keep going.
Number 2, I have The Office, because that shit's gas.
That's a good pick.
Number 3, I have How I Met Your Mother.
nigga like sitcoms, I guess.
Nah, bro. How I Met Your Mother is it's funny. Like the writing is impeccable. If it wasn't for the fact that it's pretty much a long ass love story, I think Chris would love it just because of like you could see the storytelling aspects and like how they like plant seeds in like early seasons and get all the way and circle back in like 3 seasons later. It's just dope. Like it's just great. Danny doesn't like the ending of it, like he always roasts that, but I thought it made total sense. So I loved How I Met Your Mother. It's like one of those shows that was kind of like The Office for me, where I could just watch it over and over again, like have it in the background or whatever. So there's that. Number 4, I had Breaking Bad.
I fuck with Breaking Bad. I got that shit higher. Yeah, I fuck with that shit. And I think David is on that put me onto that shit. I think it was.
I don't remember. I think Chris put me on the Breaking Bad. So shout out to Chris. And number 5, I was kind of, I'm not gonna hold you because I only had like really 3 prepared. So I was like trying to figure out what other ones.
Breaking Bad wasn't even on your list.
No, it was. I said because we said
You just said it, right?
Yeah, I just said it.
I'm saying, but like your
4,
three
you were at 4.
was, your
Oh,
three
it's not
was
top 3.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like if
four
you're
is Breaking
extending it to
Bad.
5, I had to think of the other ones. I was like, well, I love fucking Breaking Bad too. All right.
Dude.
It wasn't on your original list. Your top 3. We're gonna do 3. It wasn't on your 3.
I mean, it was my 4th.
All right, go ahead. Give us your.
What's number 5?
I have House.
Jesus Christ, David. What is your 5?
Chappelle Show.
That has to. Yeah, we're already at a way better start. Like Jesus Christ, Rick, that is the
Chappelle
worst.
Show is fire. Like
I've never heard a worse 5 top than rookies ever in my life. That's just great. That nigga gave us 1 season of a show. Like that's.
He says this represents the entire show.
Bro, the one season is incredible. Have you seen it, Chris?
I
nigga.
did.
You should. It's crazy, right, Pete?
It's a wild, but I'm gonna say too. It's a wild first season, but to be a top 5 show is tough. But I'm gonna let the nigga have it. It's his top 5. So.
Yeah, Chris, eat a dick, bro.
You're not even playing by the rules. Go ahead, David.
So I also enjoyed Dexter a lot too, even with that terrible ending. I really enjoyed Dexter. And then I like The Jump. Well, what used to be The Jump with good old Rachel Nichols, because I mean, I don't know if sports shows can be included, because I mean, all they talk about is basketball.
They are now.
It's like, I like basketball.
I guess it's weird because like it's I don't know. I guess it's a different type of TV show, but it's technically a TV show, so whatever.
If I could do one season,
one.
you could do The Jump.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
which is now NBA Today with Shawty. And then The Office will be third.
Office.
And then if I had to add 4 and 5, like nostalgic shows, like as a kid, like I really enjoyed Drake and Josh. That was probably one of my favorite shows growing up because it brought me and my brothers closer together. So that was pretty cool. I like Drake and Josh a lot. And then I'd add another one. The Real World on MTV.
I was thinking of Fresh Prince. I was like juggling between Fresh Prince and House.
You gotta let me talk.
No, go ahead. You got it. You got the floor.
So, my number 1, I say Game of Thrones. To me, the final season wasn't that bad. Everybody shitted on it. I don't think it was that bad because I feel like they kind of prepped a little bit before they got to the end. So everything that played out made sense. So Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad. I was gonna say The Fresh Prince, but that's not third. I'm going blank. That was like 4th. The Wire, 3rd. Fresh Prince, then Gurren Lagann. If we're gonna put an anime on it, that's gonna be my 5th.
Oh, Gurren Lagann, that's my shit, bro.
I fuck with that shit. I don't go back and rewatch shit. I'm not even that type of person, especially when it's TV shows. Movies is a little different. Cause the Marvel movies, I get a little too hyped off of them shits. But Gurren Lagann, I probably seen 10, 12 times, maybe. Like
that's a good fucking show, bro. And I'm not even a fan of anime, but that show fucking
fire.
Bro,
from the storyline to the animation, the voiceovers, like everything crazy.
I talked to this about with Danny, but like when I first watched it, I stopped watching it after, spoiler alert, they killed the main character.
Yeah. That shit fucked me up. I was
like, there's no fucking way they just did that shit. But then you like watch the second half of the show and it gets way fucking better. It was nuts. Yeah, it's a really good show. That's a good pick, man. But the fact that we have all these classic shows and somehow Drake and Josh ends up here.
Yeah. And then, hey, look, I got an honorable mention. Flavor of Love. Shout out to
I hate this thing.
That doesn't make it better. Anyways, like I always wondered because like we have all these classic shows, and for whatever reason, like you guys end up watching like Snowfall. And I'm not saying Snowfall's bad. I'm just saying like, why is a new show always more tempting than like something that's a certified classic?
Because you grow up in the area, and I feel like the newer shows be more relatable versus going back. Because certain shit, I'm not even gonna lie, certain shit I can't go back to. Like I'm just like, just the times the animation be trash, in my opinion. Like sometimes the voiceovers, I'm like, bro, like it hurt to even sit through this shit. Like, so that's why I understand it.
Like I've been roasted by Danny many times where he's like, yo, you're so stuck in the past. But it's like, yeah, but like I'm watching like these movies that are considered classics, and you're just watching anything that's considered new. Like I'd rather have my system than his system. You know what I mean? Because I know the movies that I'm watching are good. I don't have to watch a new movie. I don't give a fuck if it's new. If it's good, that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
But let's just say, let's switch it to video games. Like San Andreas is like a cult classic, right?
Amazing.
But most of these new jits is only gonna go to GTA 5.
Right, but like when it comes to video games, it's kind of the exception because you're sacrificing a lot in terms of technology. Like the difference between A Link in Time and Breath of the Wild is substantial, right?
Yeah.
But like a TV show now isn't automatically going to be better than Seinfeld just because the technology is better.
I think it's easier to watch now versus back then. I think that's what it is. Especially, I think the problem is sometimes with the old shows, it's a slow buildup, right? A lot of these new, just like a Snowfall. Like Snowfall's fire, by the way, so I don't want to seem like I'm shitting on Snowfall. But Snowfall get right into it. It's like, this is Franklin, and boom, like the nigga already off somebody 30 minutes into the show, and then it catch your attention. It's like boom, 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 boom. This is, even though the storyline behind it's still dope, don't get me wrong. But like The Sopranos, let's just say, which is a whole bunch of action too, don't get me wrong, but it's gonna be more story driven. Let me tell you who this guy is first before I even tell you why he did X, Y, and Z.
Right. Like I'm thinking of something like The Goodfellas, right? Which is like, not only is it one of the greatest movies ever made, but it's like one of the most entertaining movies. Like it's super fast paced. A lot of things happen. It's super funny. You could make anybody watch it and they're going to be entertained. But like, I'll use like Rookie as an example because he's always talking about like his attention span. But like Rookie had to choose between The Goodfellas and like some new movie on Netflix. He's probably going to choose the new movie on Netflix, even though there's 1,000% chance that Goodfellas is going to be a lot more fun.
I don't agree with you. I'm not a good test subject for this.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't agree with you. At least as me.
Have you seen Goodfellas?
No, but that's
okay. So I proved my fucking point.
No, you didn't, because I'm also not inclined to watch a new random movie on Netflix.
Okay, have you seen?
So I'm more.
Have you seen a movie that came out this year?
I mean, yeah.
Have you seen Batman?
Bro, we just watched like Batman.
There was my fucking point.
Dude,
but that's not a new Netflix movie.
The Spider-Man movie. Like, get the fuck out of here. What you talking about?
Okay. Is that the only new movie you've seen?
You saw the Batman.
Yeah, I saw the Batman, and that was mostly you saw we could talk about it on here.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like a new movie comes out, and you're like, I gotta watch this new movie.
That's fair. That's fair, but I'm not gonna watch a random Netflix movie because them shits be trash sometimes.
That's what I'm saying.
I just be forgetting about these things that you guys say, like Goodfellas is a good movie, and then I should go watch it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch it, and then I just forget. So, but to Pete's point, I do agree. Where like older shows, like especially like some show like Seinfeld, and even sometimes with Fresh Prince, like there's a lot of references in there that like I don't understand because it's like from before my time type shit too, and I don't know, just the way that this shit looks. Like when you look at older TV shows, it looks fucking old, you know. So,
and I got an example like that 70s show, right? when I was legit, I hated that fucking show. I was like, yo, this shit is garbage, like pure, utter garbage. Like, but then I'm not even gonna lie, something happened at one point where the cable got cut. I think my dad bounced, and my mom couldn't afford a lot of things that she could at the time with a 2-parent household, right?
Mm.
So we ain't had no cable. The only thing that's playing is that 70s show type shit. It's stuff like that, Fresh Prince, Martin. You know, those shows that you don't really need cable to watch, like at that time. So that 70s show come on, and I'm like, yo, I'm fucking bored. Like I would rather watch paint dry than, you know, like it's boring and shit. So I put on that 70s show, and that's like one of my top shows of all time. I'm like, yo, this shit is fucking hilarious. Like,
I fuck with the 70s.
I was kind of like forced to watch it, and then I was like, I was tripping. Maybe it was my age, but then I was like, yo, this show is really dope. Like, the references was funny. Red was funny as fuck. Foreman was a dickhead. Like, yeah, like Daz is hilarious. Kelso's a trip. Like, Donna is hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at one point, just because I think it was the aesthetics that used to fuck me up. And Seinfeld is a fucking amazing show. I love that show. But, you know, like Kings and Queens is another one that's really funny. But when I had cable, I was not fucking watching that shit. Like, so sometimes I feel like that's what it is. I don't know.
I think it's funny that we all mentioned Fresh Prince as like, you know, one of our favorite shows. Maybe not all of our top fives, but like it's one of our favorite shows. And I fuck with Fresh Prince. Yeah. But then like Will Smith talks about it and he's like, he can't even watch the episodes. It's so cringy to him type shit. So I find that funny.
I mean, he's grown as an actor significantly since then. Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure. Grown as an actor.
How are they going to continue I Am Legend?
Oh, you didn't see the alternate cut.
Oh, I guess
you said what?
He said, how are they going to continue I Am Legend?
Yeah, it just came out that him and Michael B. Jordan are going to be in I Am Legend 2. And it's like,
I can't lie, like I was confused as shit when I seen that too, David. Like, didn't he blow himself up with a grenade?
Yeah, that's what I thought. There's an alternate ending to it. So I'll throw it in the group chat if you guys want. It's on YouTube. See the alternate ending.
And like I can't lie. So what's Will Smith's best movie?
His best movie?
Yeah.
I think I kind of agree with that. In 7 Pounds, I think just pulls at your heartstrings so much. And he does such a phenomenal job that for me, those are like within his top 2.
I Am Legend got to be up there too.
You said I Am Legend and 7 Pounds?
And The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
Pursuit of Happiness. I'll tell you what, like Ali is like one of my 12 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, Ali's
really good too.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Ali never gets mentioned. Like Will Smith's performance in Ali was insane. And then it had Jamie Foxx. They had a fantastic soundtrack. I love the way that it was shot. Like, I don't know why this movie gets slept on. And
King Richard was fire.
Which one?
King Richard.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I haven't seen
that one. He plays Venus and Serena Williams' dad.
Oh, that one. I want to watch that one.
Well, yeah, no, I never seen that one.
It's on HBO Max. Y'all tripping.
Like, I was confused. I was like, why the fuck does anybody want to learn about this guy? Like,
nah, it was dope because they wanted to understand why these little girls were so like adamant to play, and then when you see it, you like, bro, it makes sense. Like, in the way he portrayed their dad and the way that they say he portrayed their dad correctly was dope. Like, that movie was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wish Will Smith would have got with more talented directors. I feel like he left so much on the table, and not just that. Then he left. Like, he entered his prime after The Pursuit of Happiness or 7 Pounds. And then he left. I feel like there was so much left there that we could have got that we're never going to get to see.
I feel like everything he's in, though, like, he's great. Like, he's great. The movies aren't great, but I feel like he's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you're an amazing actor and the beat sucks. You know what I mean? Like, or you're an amazing
rapper. Yeah.
The beat sucks. Like I don't listen to Cannabis. I recognize that he's a good rapper. He's a good lyricist.
Yeah.
I can't listen to his music. You know what I mean? Like, I never want to watch Focus. You know what I mean? Like,
I watched Focus. I thought it was cool.
That's the movie about the gambling or the stealing or whatever, right?
Yeah, he's a fucking
that,
con man.
That fine white woman.
Unpopular opinion, I hate Hancock. I can't stand that movie.
You know, I don't hate it, but like I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna defend
that
it.
Would also.
It sucks because like Will Smith, like when you compare like the two biggest actors in the 2000s were Will Smith and Denzel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could throw Brad Pitt in there, maybe.
Well, Tom Cruise.
I wouldn't even throw Tom Cruise in there. In the 90s, not in the 2000s.
Oh. Big Cannon, like, he was there.
I feel like in terms of like complete body of work, Jamie Foxx bodies both of them.
Of course, but Jamie, I think the problem, like what you were saying about Will Smith, with Jamie Foxx, he was way too talented and did too much, so people could never like, you know.
Jack of all trades is never a master of one type of thing.
He's lit.
No, he mastered all of them. He put his attention too spread apart, I feel like.
Yeah. Like I feel like he kind of flew under the radar, and it took a while to appreciate like the ridiculous amount of talent that this guy has. Like back in the 2000s, I didn't think he was talented like that. It took time for me to get the proper perspective. Like this nigga was doing his thing, bro. Like he's super talented.
Yeah.
The Jamie Foxx show is a classic. The nigga funny as fuck. He can fucking sing. He bodied fucking Django like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
like,
that movie's that's a really good film.
Like that might be Tarantino's second best film. Like if it wasn't for like the ending, I thought the ending was a little like.
Oh, I loved it. I was like, yes, you win. Get him.
Like, I thought it was dragged on. Like I feel like there was a whole 30 minutes that probably should have been cut out of the movie. That's just me. But like if it wasn't for that, that's arguably, well, I mean, Inglourious Basterds is really fucking good. Yeah. Is really fucking good. But the Django Unchained is probably like a top 25, 30 movie for me. Like that movie is really fucking good.
Chris, you haven't seen the new Batman yet, right?
Nah, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well, I'm gonna need you to go do that. Because what you just said, like that, it just had me thinking about the Batman movie where I felt like there was just like mad shit that made it super long that probably didn't need to be in there.
Yeah, no, I should have watched it this week. I might watch it Tuesday if I find the time.
It was a good movie. I was talking about that shit today. Like, it was a good movie.
Yeah,
it was a really good movie.
Yeah, good.
Also, I mean, talking about the Dark Knight.
That shit's OD. That shit's wild. Better than Dark Knight, no. All right,
I don't know. Go ahead. Yeah,
I was about to say we're not going to do 2 weeks of the Batman's vengeance. I'm about to wrap this up. We can talk about it though in a second off cam. But
if I watched the Batman, it would have become 2 weeks of the Batman though.
Well, just in case if Chris watches it and we talk about it next week, then we won't do 3 weeks in a row of Batman. We'll just do in between. But all right, we're pretty much at our time now as it is anyway. Appreciate y'all for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you guys think about what we talking about out here. All right. We'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.